Hello and welcome to the Feminine Millionaire Show. I'm your host, Polly Alexandre. I'm a success coach, healer, creative, and future millionaire. If creating money and success in a spiritual and feminine way is your goal, this show is for you. Understand how to overcome your past, bring your soul's greatest gifts to the world, and up-level your income, impact, joy, and happiness. Join me on my journey to creating a 7-figure business and learn the business mindset, spiritual, and lifestyle changes I make along the way. Let's all rise together. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Feminine Millionaire Show. This is brought to you today hot on the heels of a divine weekend break that Teddy Pompom and I experienced last weekend. And I'm going to talk a bit about that break because it taps into the subject, the power of your desires, which is the title of today's podcast. So often as women, we put our desires last. We get disconnected from our desires. We get so caught up in routine, in caring for others, in habits, in putting work first, that we can get disconnected from what it is we truly desire, which changes through life. What you truly desire now, what is authentic for you right now as a true and passionate desire, is probably different to what was a true desire 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And so it's something that we really want to revisit every year and tune back in and really connect with what is true for us in our hearts, in our souls at this time. Another thing I've noticed is that so often we make fulfilling our desires, we make it conditional. So I can take that holiday when, I can buy that dress when. We set goals and we deprive ourselves unless we hit those goals. Now, I am all for celebrating and reward when you hit big milestones or big goals in your business. However, we want to be mindful not to put off the fulfillment of our desires, not to put off the heartfelt, passionate experience of what it is that truly brings us joy until some point in the future. You deserve to experience your desires right now. So last week we were in launch for Money Beautifully, closing the doors. A huge welcome to everyone that said yes. We kicked off with the early bird call this week, which was really, really powerful. It's truly a vortex for manifesting over the next 10 weeks. I will be leading live weekly calls and I cannot wait to share with you what unfolds in the group. Welcome to the women and men that have said yes to their expansion, to releasing their money blocks and to transforming their relationship with money. Now, launches are intense, as I shared in last week's episode. How to stay calm during a launch, how to look after yourself during a launch. And so I like to book in some time afterwards and I tuned into my true desire. I wanted to go away on a hotel break. I wanted to get away from home, but with minimum effort and fuss. So I decided to have a staycation on Ibiza, my third one this year. After all, when everybody else is coming on a holiday here and it's such a magical place, why not give myself that experience too? And it was my true desire to have a fabulous suite. It was my true desire to have a sea view. It was my true desire to have a big round jacuzzi bath. And yet it would have been so easy to say, it's okay, it's enough. It's enough just to have a room there. It's enough just to have one night. But I leant into my true desires before the money was there, before I'd hit my goals, before I'd earned it. And so I pushed myself outside of my comfort zone and leaned into what my true desire was. And from the moment I did that, things started to unfold in a certain way. And I'm going to share that with you now to help you see what's possible when we say yes to our true and authentic desires without fear. So the first thing that happened was the hotel sent the most wonderful message. I informed them I was going to be traveling with my little Pomeranian. And they wrote back and said, the Bless Your Paws experience is €80 a day plus €50 for cleaning. However, because Teddy Pom Pom also deserves a holiday and is worthy of a break, we're going to waive that fee for you. Such a charming example of great customer service. And so that was €220 saved right there. I went to the hotel and I fully received the experience. I accepted the valet parking and I allowed myself the fullest experience of what I desired, right down to little details like in the room service. I didn't order my main and dessert at the same time because the ice cream would have melted with my delicious vegan chocolate brownie if I'd taken my time to have the main course first. So first of all, I ordered the main and then I did another order and ordered the brownie. So it's little details like this. It's really allowing ourselves to have what we desire. I went to book a massage, but they were full. So I didn't let go of my desire. I leaned into it and I asked, how can this happen? And I reached out to somebody I knew that could come to the hotel and booked her for a fabulous hour and a half energy healing and massage session. And then the universe stepped in. There was a totally unexpected and completely rare problem with the bathroom door. And that problem, when the door jammed, which nobody can understand how it happened, meant I had to leave the room for a while. And by way of apology, the hotel actually upgraded me 2 suites up to their second to top suite. That was another €800 had come in. And I had these epic sea views. I was super happy with the one I had anyway, but I had a different view. I now had a sunrise view, which was really magical. And as if by magic, we had more space for the massage couch. I was wondering how we were going to fit it in the previous room, and the universe took care of that. There are many more magical things that unfolded. And the last one is because of a couple of unexpected issues beyond my control, in fact, beyond the hotel's control for the large part, they ended up covering my food and drink for the stay. So that was another few €100 covered. Look at how magically and effortlessly the abundance unfolded when I said yes to my true desires. And this is just one time it's happened. I have witnessed this so many times when I lean into my desires without knowing exactly how they're going to be covered. The universe has my back. So I hope that story's inspired you as to what's possible. I'm going to share 3 things with you now. Number 1, your desires are everything. Okay, your desires are everything. In every program I run, we always start out by defining your vision and your desires. Your desires are the motivation to push outside your comfort zone, to take risks, to try harder, to try uncomfortable things, try new things without having something deeply pleasurable and passionate and joyful and life-giving to aim towards. What's the point? You will soon start procrastinating or losing the motivation to keep going. Your desires give you a sense of growing, progressing, evolving, and moving towards. The second thing that's really important to know is that women are taught to suppress their desires. So this does not come naturally to us. Society, our families, our cultures subliminally and consciously, transmit the message that we should be focusing on taking care of others. We should be humble. We shouldn't think too big. You may have heard the phrase, don't get ideas above your station, or who do you think you are? I remember growing up and being told, who do you think you are? And I'm pretty sure the phrase, you'll have to marry a rich man, was in there sometimes. Nobody said to me, what about aiming to be a rich woman? What about creating your own wildly abundant life? What about giving yourself choices and the means to follow your desires? Again, collective programming tells us it's selfish or greedy to focus on ourselves. And we can fear standing out, being judged by others. Maybe you even have the identity that says, people like me don't live lives like that. People like me don't make decisions like that. Something to be aware of, bearing in mind so much of your programming is coming from your upbringing in those first few years of life before you were even conscious. And lastly, and we're going to go full circle back to that story about the hotel, when you lean into your desires, the universe always has your back. When the desire is true and authentic to you, the money will always show up. Now, this is not about being reckless and saying, hey, it's my true desire to travel around the world or fly first class to New York, putting it all on a credit card and going on a crazy unconscious spending spree and then wondering why the money's not showing up. Okay. So it's not about that. It's about being conscious, but it's also about stretching outside your comfort zone, like I did with the hotel suite. Yeah, not really going for my desires. Would have just been booking a standard room and just being humble, maybe bringing some of my own food or ordering in a pizza or eating something I didn't really want to eat. There's little subtle changes to your experience that can take it closer to your desires. Like when you go to a restaurant, and something I was trained to do is to look at the prices before you decide what you want. So then you decide based on how much something costs. And it has been a conscious decision to break out of the habit of choosing by what something costs and instead learning to choose by what my body desires, my soul desires, my spirit desires. So this is possible for you too. And it can start with little tiny changes around giving yourself an up-leveled experience in day-to-day life. When you go to the supermarket, what's the chocolate you truly desire? What's the wine you truly desire? What about going 1 or 2 levels up and starting to lean into that? So the thing about desires is that you have to claim your desires. The universe does have your back, but it's up to you to start claiming your desires. Now, nobody told me that I could move to a place in the sun. Nobody told me I could create a whole new life in a place in the world that truly lights up my soul. Nobody told me that I could run my own business and do work I loved and earn great money. That was not in the experience of anyone I knew or saw. Nobody told me that when I first started to make my new coaching business successful, that it was okay to spontaneously book a business class flight to Miami and book myself into the Four Seasons and hire a personal stylist and go on a shopping trip. No one told me that was okay. No one told me I could do that. I had to lean in, identify my desires, and step up to that. I just decided I was going to go for it, and you get to do that too. So I hope today's episode has inspired you, has opened up a glimmer of possibility for you. And I would love to hear how you can lean into your desires more. If you're part of my Feminine Millionaire Facebook group, which we're going to be reopening from next week, a little bit delayed on that one, but we'll be reopening the doors next week. You can come and share in there, or you can DM me on Instagram at Polly_Alexander and let me know how you're going to lean a little bit more deeply into your desires this week, or wildly and boldly if you are called. Thank you so much for being here on this show, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to episode 35 of the Feminine Millionaire Show. So people give me feedback all the time about how much they love my meditations. So I wanted to let you know about a couple of ways to experience this work. So if it's a money meditation you're after, go to polyalexander.com/money magnet. That's my powerful money magnet toolkit. If it's a more general success meditation that calls you, you can find that at polyalexander.com/success-meditation. And right here on this podcast, episode 10 is a really powerful daily morning meditation, which contains energy work, a bit of visualizing. It's my go-to routine. So enjoy diving into those pieces, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you for being here. Bye for now.